Among all the great poets, Nizami Ganjavi shines like a bright star. Born way back in the 1100s, this amazing Persian poet still touches our hearts with his incredible stories about love, wisdom, and how we connect with each other. His poems are full of deep feelings and big ideas that have inspired artists, writers, and thinkers for hundreds of years. Nizami's stories are super important to literature all over the world. His most famous work, The Five Treasures, shows just how good he was at telling stories. These 5 long poems mix romance, history, and philosophy, giving us a look into Persian culture and what it means to be human. Nizami's words create powerful pictures in our minds, helping us understand complicated things like love, sadness, and finding our purpose in life. His stories, filled with both happy and sad moments, show how strong people can be, even when things are hard. Come along with us as we explore the world of Nizami Ganjavi, a world where love always wins, wisdom lights the way, and stories have the power to last forever. Like many famous people from long ago, we don't know everything about Nizami Ganjavi's life. We know he was born in Ganja, a city in what is now Azerbaijan, around the year 1141. This city, full of history and culture, probably helped shape the young poet's imagination. While we don't know much about his childhood, we do know Nizami was a great student. He studied the writings of Persian, Arabic, and Greek masters, learning about literature, philosophy, astronomy, and even math. You can see how much he loved learning in his poems, which are both beautiful and smart. Unlike other poets of his time, Nizami liked to be alone and think. He didn't want to live in a king's palace. He preferred his books and the freedom to write whatever he wanted. This independent spirit shows up in the strong characters in his stories. Even though he lived a quiet life, Nizami's words inspired many people after him. His amazing poems are a testament to his education and his dedication to writing. Nizami Ganjavi's most famous work, The Five Treasures, is a huge accomplishment in Persian literature. These 5 long poems, which took him 25 years to write, show how talented he was. Each poem is like a treasure, exploring important themes like love, loss, fairness, and what it means to be alive. The first treasure, Makhzan ol Asrar, the Treasury of Mysteries, teaches us about spiritual and ethical ideas. It's full of philosophical thoughts and symbolic stories, and it shows how skilled Nizami was with words, and how well he understood people's hearts. Next is Khosrow and Shirin, a sad love story about a king and a princess. This poem explores love, duty, and sacrifice, and it's so emotional, it will take your breath away. The third treasure, Layla and Majnun, is probably Nizami's most famous story. It's a classic love story, kind of like Romeo and Juliet, about 2 young lovers who go crazy because of their love for each other. Iskandarnama, the Book of Alexander, is a little different. It's about the legendary adventures of Alexander the Great. Nizami shows Alexander as both a powerful conqueror and a wise person who loves to learn. Finally, Haft Paykar, the 7 Beauties, tells the story of a prince who gets 7 portraits of beautiful princesses. Each portrait represents a day of the week and a planet, and Nizami uses them to explore different cultures and philosophies. These 5 poems together tell us so much about being human. The Five Treasures shows how amazing Nizami was at telling stories and why he's such an important Persian poet. Out of all of Nizami Ganjavi's amazing stories, Layla and Majnun is the most famous and loved. This classic tale of love, madness, and rules that keep people apart has fascinated readers for centuries. The story is about Qais, a young man who falls deeply in love with the beautiful Layla. But their families won't let them be together, and Qais goes a little crazy. He wanders the desert, writing poems about his love and sadness, which earns him the nickname Majnun, which means the crazy one. Layla also loves Qais very much, but she's forced to marry someone else, and she becomes very sad. Nizami shows us how painful it is for them to be apart, even though they love each other so much. Layla and Majnun isn't just a love story, it teaches us about what it means to be human. It explores how society pressures us, how prejudice can hurt people, and how love can be stronger than anything, even death. Nizami's beautiful words and vivid imagery make the story almost like a myth. The lover's struggles represent how hard it can be to follow your heart when society tells you to do something else, and this is something people still relate to today. Khosrow and Shirin is another one of the 5 treasures, and it's a powerful story about how complicated love can be. This epic poem, based on real people, tells a story of passionate love, jealousy, and how fate can be cruel. Khosrow II, a king, falls in love with Shirin, a beautiful and smart princess, but their love faces many challenges like political problems, a jealous rival, and the duties they have as royalty. Nizami shows us all the ups and downs of their relationship. From their first meeting, full of excitement and longing, to the sweet moments they share, we feel how strongly they are connected. But sadly, things don't go well for them. Jealousy, betrayal, and bad luck test their love, and the story ends very sadly. Khosrow and Shirin is a story about how love can be both wonderful and heartbreaking. It reminds us that even the strongest love can be challenged and sometimes destroyed by the things that happen in life. But it also shows us that love can leave a lasting impact on our hearts. The Seven Beauties, also called Haft Paykar, is like a colorful tapestry woven with love, wisdom, and different cultures. This epic poem is organized around the 7 days of the week and the 7 planets, and it takes us on an adventure with Bahram Gur, a prince who loves beauty and excitement. Bahram, after becoming king, builds a magnificent palace. 7 domes, each a different color representing a planet, are built for 7 princesses from different parts of the world. Each day of the week, Bahram visits a different princess and she tells him stories from her home. These stories, some romantic and some philosophical, give us a look into the different cultures and ideas of that time. The Seven Beauties celebrates the beauty of different cultures and how we're all connected. Through the princesses' stories, Nizami explores love, justice, fate, and the search for meaning, giving us many different perspectives on what it means to be human. In Iskandarnameh, or the Book of Alexander, Nizami tells the story of Alexander the Great. But it's not just about battles and conquering, it's about leadership, learning, and what it means to be fair. Nizami shows us that Alexander was a complex person, a great military leader, someone who loved to learn, and a ruler who had to make difficult decisions. The poem follows Alexander as he travels the world, from the battlefields of Persia to the schools of Greece. Alexander always wants to learn more. He talks to philosophers, seeks out wise people, and collects books, showing us how important it is to be curious and search for truth. Nizami's Alexander is different from the usual image of a conqueror. He shows him as a ruler who cares about justice and wants to build a peaceful empire based on knowledge, wisdom, and respect for different cultures. There's another poem called Haft Paykar, also known as the Seven Portraits, and it's a beautiful exploration of how love can change us and how strong the human spirit can be. The story is about a prince who can't find a wife he likes, so he has 7 portraits painted of the most beautiful princesses in the world. Each portrait represents a day of the week and a planet, and the prince falls in love with each one, leading him on a quest to win their hearts. Haft Paykar celebrates all kinds of love, passionate love, friendship, and spiritual love. Through the prince's meetings with each princess, Nizami explores the different sides of love and how it can inspire us, heal us, and make us better people. The poem also explores destiny, free will, and how everything is connected. The prince's journey, guided by the stars and fate, is like a metaphor for life, with its ups and downs, joys and sorrows. Hundreds of years later, Nizami Ganjavi's stories still feel relevant, teaching us important lessons and captivating us with their beauty and emotion. His work is incredibly important to literature all over the world, and his influence has spread far beyond Persia. The Five Treasures has been translated into many languages, and people everywhere connect with its universal themes. Nizami's amazing storytelling, his ability to mix romance, history, philosophy, and social commentary, has inspired many poets, writers, and artists. His work goes beyond cultural and language differences, reminding us that we all share similar experiences. His stories about love, loss, the search for knowledge, and the fight for justice still resonate with us today, proving that great stories can last forever. As we finish our journey through Nizami's world, think about his stories and see if you can find parts of your own life in them. Which story do you connect with the most? What can you learn from his words? May his legacy continue to inspire us to find beauty in the world, to accept the challenges of life, and to celebrate the strength of the human spirit.